who's going to be the victor, though, when we actually get to the match. Before then, we need to find out where we're going to play. So we'll go through the map veto stage.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Auto
There goes
bans.
Coastline, so we're not going to see the same map twice. We're going to go to Clubhouse instead. All right, all right, all right. I like casting Clubhouse, so this is going to be quite the treat.
I think this is where Ninjas in Pyjamas played FaZe, and yeah, they lost it. It was the 7-5 that you talked about against FaZe earlier today, and yeah, no, that's not terrible for NiP. You know, you're going to lose to FaZe sometimes. That's all right. So you're going to beat them sometimes. They're just one of those teams that are hard to do so on. And now Clubhouse is a really good map for FaZe as well as NiP, though. We saw NiP try to pull out some counter play with their bans. For example, they got rid of Montaigne, which FaZe tends to utilize. So maybe they don't have to ban Montaigne this time. NiP don't have to ban Montaigne this time, and maybe that'll give some more versatility. What do you think? Who's going to win this? Why don't you just go ahead and tell us?
72% of you believe that Ninjas in Pyjamas will be the victor, to 21% for Team 1 and 7% on a draw. And going back to Clubhouse, the fact that NiP was able to hang 10 with FaZe Clan after FaZe showed up out of nowhere, taking a map off of Empire 7-1 on Clubhouse at the Raleigh Major. That was ages ago. I know that was over 6 months ago. Things change. But FaZe have shown that their prowess on Clubhouse should not be contested by most teams. The fact that NiP was able to take 5 rounds off of them in what was an even split in the second half, yeah, that's thumbs up. That's pretty
solid.
It's pretty solid for NiP. So we'll see if they can have better results here against Team 1. You mentioned the Montaigne ban. Don't suspect we're going to see the same thing against Team 1. Monty is a very key part of the strategy for FaZe, as is an operator like Finka, and FaZe does play a weird lineup in comparison to their fellow countrymen.
Yeah. So I think that's going to give more freedom to NiP, so to speak, and they should be able to be more specifically focused on what Team 1 does, or maybe they're going to take a step back from that and just focus on what NiP wants to accomplish with those bans, what they're uncomfortable playing against. Who knows? I mean, we're going to find out when we get to that ban phase, which should be pretty soon here, as we've got everything set up and ready, but, before then, we can keep talking about how we don't have a lot of information to say about Team 1 when it comes to Clubhouse, because they haven't played it yet this season. They haven't played it very recently even. We'll see what happens for them as we get into this match. But, yeah, I mean, the community vote is definitely one-sided. I would say maybe a little bit less so for the actual match, but most people's opinion is pretty clear on this one.
Yeah. And Ninjas in Pyjamas, of course, is a massive organization. They were one of the very first teams to break into the scene. They had one of the original pilot program skins as well, though they were not in on the second wave that is currently ongoing right now. Actually, this is the only matchup today that doesn't have a single team with a pilot program skin. Wow. So just something, a little FF for you, a little fun fact. Thermite is indeed a big ban, and it's not a surprise to see a hard breacher removed, given the way that Clubhouse tends to play. It's going to be a Buck ban, so that's going to be a targeted ban right at Lukid. We mentioned how important Buck is to teams in Latin America, and Team 1 is no exception. In fact, they might have one of the best Bucks in all of LATAM right now. So this is very much a counter ban from NiP.
Yeah, and that's, of course, as you said, the Lukid Buck is a scary thing to play against. So let's just not is pretty clear and concise there from Ninjas in Pyjamas. They'll also get rid of Mira. Standard ban so far. Interesting that it's Thermite as a hard destructor instead of like Maverick. We see Habana sometimes, but no. And that's interesting. That's different right there. Goyo banned out. So the assumption is pretty simple there. Goyo is something that I think is probably more prevalent in scrims. So I imagine that there's a clear understanding of what they're going to have to face in this match, and Team 1 do not want to deal with it. So they'll get rid of Goyo very, very specifically because I assume they expect NiP to be bringing it on the second half.
I mean, Team 1 will have footage on NiP for this particular match. So
yeah, because the last match on Clubhouse.
They played it. Yeah, and Goyo has a quite the impact, let's say, on this actual matchup. The Clubhouse tends to be one of the maps where he is run most regularly. The only other map that we've seen quite a lot of Goyo play is Consulate. We haven't seen him outside of those two maps, so he's obviously going to be a big utility soak on what is already a very utility-heavy map. And what do we mean when we say utility-heavy for the people that hear us repeat that phrase from time to time? It means that there's a lot of I's to dot and a lot of T's to cross. And on the bigger maps, there are so many steps that you need to take. Simple things. The way that you take soft destruction. the way that you drone out a map, the way that you take multiple floors in order to ensure that you have that vertical control. And on a map like Clubhouse, we see that the very first defense here from Team 1 is going to be in the basement. What is starting to happen on Clubhouse is that teams are starting to roam on that second floor, which means that your job as an attacker is even more onerous. And well, would you look at that? Team 1 looks to be roping on that second floor.
So we've seen this strategy from a lot of different teams before. Again, as I always like to wonder about, I still haven't talked to him about it. I'm pretty sure it was a SSD strategy originally. Basically, it's castle barricades, middle floor, roam top floor. Then you have a route to retreat because the castle barricades are going to delay on the middle enough for you to have that full retreat back to the site safe and sound. So T1 trying to play a delay strat primarily. The Goyo shields would have been useful here, but of course they were the ones who banned it, so they obviously are prepared to not have that available. And like you said, on these utility-heavy maps, when you get rid of things like Goyo, you're going to make it a little bit easier for the attack because there's less utility to clear out, less things that you have to waste time on. Now, it's well known what the strat is here for NIP, and they're already setting up to deal with it. That's a nice angle there from Julio if the player were still actually by the staircase, and ooh, bad timing there. Could have seen an early kill for Julio, but he just comes off it at the wrong moment. Spots out the Vigil by the stage. Good information here from NIP, but they actually need to capitalize upon that information. That's the biggest thing. NIP is wary of this roam, and the order in which they clear out the roamers is going to be crucial to the outcome of the overall round. So far, we've not seen any actual fights break out. Ninjas of Pyjamas being very civil and simply clearing methodically. They will actually get top 4 control, but it was half of the round wasted, which was the exact goal for Team 1, and that is why they fell back.
This mute Mozzie Vigil castle strategy is indeed an SSG strat from, I think it was last season, and it works very effectively. The problem is, and it was exploited by SSG against Evil Geniuses a couple weeks ago, is that it usually only leaves one person on site. In this particular case, it would very likely be Falls. First kill comes in from Team 1, then one from NIP, then another from Team 1.
So the actual engagements when they come out, working in the defense's favor, but it's early yet. And yeah, you can exploit if there's light anchor play. It really comes down to how you are as defensive team and attacking team and how you're going to read the strategy and all the reactions that will happen in a matter of seconds. In this case, things are working out pretty well for T1. T1 read it well. We didn't see NIP actually read the roam and decide to commit hard to the site. That's really important. But something that also is really important is the thermite ban makes it so you can't do a tunnel rush.
No, that's true.
Yeah, you can open the wall as Maverick, but it's going to be slower and harder.
Well, I mean, a lot of teams will just cut a small circle, almost like a can opener on in, and wow, that is it.
Wow, okay.
NIP decides to pressure on into the site, and 3 separate members of Team 1 just mow them down as we're in the middle of speaking. That's a bit of an unpredictable pacing for you, but
there you go.
Team 1 will take the very first round in a defense on Clubhouse of the Church. Yeah, you don't want to lose those right off the hop.
I'm guessing that's why they banned Thermite, though. It's just to slow down the whole tunnel getting opened up. This is interesting. Team 1 has lost a player, so we will very likely have a rehost here. It's going to be down to a few seconds, but no. Oh, he made it back and auto picked into a Tachanka.
Now we know who the 6th pick is going to be.
Yeah, it'll be the Tachanka.
It'll be the Tachanka, and that's unfortunate because it is a dead giveaway. Ninjas in Pyjamas don't get to see who he flexes onto, so it's a Maestro pick. Ninjas in Pyjamas don't know who Falls is going to be playing unless they're accustomed to the roles that he's usually on, and he's almost always on anchor roles on defense, so you suspect it's going to be a Smoke, Kaid, maybe an Echo, etc. But Team 1's already got all the anchors covered, so who do you go on to? It's probably going to be a Maestro here. Unfortunate, but good that he's still able to hang in the match.
Yeah, it's nice that we don't have to have a rehost here. Not exactly sure what happened, but it's good that he made it back in time. It probably just got pushed to the menu based on how quickly he responded to that. Well, it's a cash hold, like I said. Team 1 going to the standard bomb site so far. Nothing crazy going on yet. No more impacts on Kaid. Those were removed a while ago, so he is going to be able to use those Electro Claws to delay the garage door if he wants to. It's an option for Reduct. Right now, the setup coming out for T1, and there's just nothing special about it, really. You could note, I suppose, that there are both an Echo and a Maestro, which is a lot of information and a lot of plant denial, as well as, well, actually, every operator on the defense has plant denial except for the Jaeger. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a pretty hard to plant on attack for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Julio's going to make quick work of that wall.
Julio was very settled being shot in the feet. The cojones on that man.
Oh, this
no,
again.
This happened again.
I can't believe it. But he's got another impact, so...
Yeah, but...
There's no shotgun.
This is tough. This has happened a couple times. I don't know if it's a... We can't tell if it's a visual bug or not.
It could be spectator bug,
It could be a spectator bug, but... I mean, this happened last time, and it did thwart... I think it was FaZe and Nip that it actually happened to last time, if I remember correctly.
We didn't see anyone even try to go through the wall, so we don't know if it was, like... we don't know if it was for them or just for us.
It's a bit of negligence from the Yokai drone that was very easy fodder for Psycho to be able to shoot away at. Could have been in a much safer position, but putting yourself by a window, not where you want to be. If indeed that wall is unable to be ran through, this will be a major boon for Team One. It also sounds like there might have been a little bit of those X-Kairos not going off correctly. This is going to be the catastrophe of a hole into construction, as yes, some of Kamikaze's gadget will be denied. You've got Rayduck down below. He shot away at some of the X-Kairos. That's what we heard. Still playing under that hatch. This is very commonplace now to have somebody play on the main floor, hatch open. You can see a bandit there. You can toss a C4 up. There's a lot of different ways that teams can play that. In this particular instance, it's going to be a Kaid. Felpox will toss it a toxic canister just in case somebody decides to bull rush in through construction. But for now, Nip is not going to blink. They're just going to stand pat. Holding the angles is required without giving too much away to the defenders. Could we see a vault out from Rayduck? Well, if there is, he gets down by the Claymore and then finished off. 2 from Nip. There's another as Lucat takes the chance. He runs out. He gets mosey, but Ninjas in Pyjamas still holds that advantage. Immediately swung back into a 3v3, and this is now winnable for Team One as they've managed to equalize.
Winnable, but definitely difficult. Rise on low HP, so he's going to have to land those headshots if he wants to have any further influence on this round. I believe his Yokai drones have been hunted down. The real question is this wall even accessible to Ninjas in Pyjamas? We don't know. Psycho's going to use the long angle to try and challenge the Jaeger in the hallway. Plant going down from Kamikaze just inside of the breach in cash, and there's no one from Team One to deny. This might be beautiful for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Psycho will do a lot of work from the balcony, but the plant has gone down, and now in the post plant, it's all on Lucat to get 2 kills and a disable. Not an easy task, even for a Jaeger, especially when he's only got just above 50 HP, possibly about 60. He's running out of time now. He needs to get a little aggressive on this plant. Here comes the push onto the doorway. Caught in crossfire. No real options. He doesn't know where his targets are. Sees the Maverick and lands the shots. Julio goes down. That's the triple for Lucat, but he's got to find one more. And the HP is definitely not in Lucat's favor. Kamikaze waiting this out patiently, and he'll get it on the headshot. Ninjas in Pyjamas get their first round.
Such a tough spot to be in a 1v1, especially when you're low on HP. The only real chance you have as a defender is to vault out one of those windows or maybe even return fire. But from inside of CCTV, I just don't think Lucat had the intel that he needed, and with the angle that the Hibana was playing and where it was planted very smartly, it allowed full coverage from the attackers without having to give up their bodies in a possible fight. Kamikaze can play very, very far back and be extremely safe. Well played by Nip. And they managed to dig themselves out of that hole. A couple things went wrong. Number one, the Kaid that was playing downstairs watching that hatch could have denied even greater X-Kairos, which would have made the push into construction even tougher. And that push into construction was what Nip needed in order to get that plant down and then hold in the post-plant. Additionally, the biggest and glaring issue that was confronted by Nip was that soft wall not opening up correctly. Now, we don't know still if it's a visual glitch, but I would assume from the way that Nip moved the wagons all the way over to the other side and towards construction, probably wasn't a visual glitch.
It's hard to tell. I mean, the big thing for me is that Psycho didn't push through when he had an opportunity to.
These stats tell a good story. 4 bans, 4 Ninjas in Pyjamas, yet despite that they have a perfect 4-0-0 record. That is, should not be correct because they lost to FaZe actually 2 play days ago, so it should be 4-0-1. However, Team One have 6 bans, and they've never won this map, 2 losses. Now, the one thing that comes with a newer roster and a new season is a changing of the map pool. This is very commonplace for teams to start to expand outside of their comfort zone. Dark Zero's done this in North America. Empire has done this in Europe. We could see the same from Team One here. The question that will be answered is, well, how much practice does Team One have on a map like Clubhouse? How much are they going to benefit off of the fact that it's a defender-sided map and they start on defense? That could be a major boon for them. Or do they just simply lose the map ban phase which really shouldn't be happening. You get 2 guaranteed bans, and then 2 bans that you know are going to happen based upon the previous week. That should narrow it down to only 3 maps that you need to be prepped for, and in this case, Team 1 likely are prepped for Clubhouse, but we'll see, and we'll be able to answer that question at the tail end of this matchup.
Okay, so it's going to be, looks like a very short Maverick trick, but they're actually going to preemptively open up the wall. This actually will leave Julio very exposed when the wall gets open, when the reinforcement is broken. It'll be, he needs to move immediately after he finishes Maverick.
He doesn't have it perfectly at the top, it looks like. And
he might have it. It's hard to tell. There was a metal breakage, but he definitely doesn't have the full thing.
You can see it right there. Yeah, there you go.
He's got to do some more work on this wall for sure. There you go. All right. Yeah. So now wall open there for Ninjas in Pyjamas, and that was very dangerous the way they did that. But at least it's open.
How was that not punished? I suppose Team 1 expects maybe somebody's out on rappel like Pino is, and that they will die. And well, right call. Right time, right place for Rayduct as he eliminates Pino, and Nip will now trail despite being able to get that wall open. Oops. Good objective play. You don't really need a Thatcher necessarily, but look at all the gadgetry that's going to be on the board. ADSs, Yokai drones, Evil Eye cams, Valkyrie cameras. The only player on Team 1 that's not going to be affected by an EMP in terms of gadgetry is going to be Fellapox. So losing a Thatcher, well, that's a lot of very easy gadget denial that you could have accomplished there.
Team 1 now with the man advantage are just going to try and wait this round out. There's only a minute left for Ninjas in Pyjamas to make something happen here. They've got the wall open into server, yes, but there's still plenty of denial for Team 1, so a push in there would be pretty much giving up the round for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They know this. They know they have to try for something different. They're definitely going to try and cut off rotation using this opened up wall. The shield makes the push hard, and so does the fact that the garage has not been cleared out. Nip are setting up for a workshop take, it looks like, once again. Big difference, though, is that they haven't opened the wall yet, as far as I know, and there's only 35 seconds. So Nip can open the wall, but it'll be hard. I'm not sure what Julio's doing all the way by the billiards table. That is pretty far from the taken. With 25 seconds left, that's not great. Redect will get his second kill. Lucan will add to it with Muzi eliminated. Diffuser down outside of server. Psycho really upset about something. Not sure what exactly. It sounds like he's complaining about a bug. What we do know is Ninjas in Pyjamas have effectively lost this round. In a 2 versus 4, there's only 10 seconds left. Make that a 1 versus 5, actually. I don't know why I said 4. What I do know is that Team 1 had a pretty good hold there. Ninjas in Pyjamas struggling after they opened up the wall, and nothing else came of it. They opened server, and then they all scattered to the wind, and I'm not sure why. It seemed like there was some bug being complained about there, so maybe they were seeing something that we weren't, but I don't know what that would be.
Always confusing. This is the one downside to not speaking Portuguese. I mean, there's a number of downsides to not speaking Portuguese, let's be honest. But one of the downsides is that there tends to be communication that is relayed between the admins and the players that we are not able to do much with. We're not privy to it. Just as you, I suppose, at home are not privy to it either.
Unless you speak Portuguese.
Unless you speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
Which we don't.
We don't.
We do not, in case you need confirmation on that one.
I'm trying to learn it right now, but it's like really slow and hard. The thing that's tripping me up is the difference between one word can be like 2 different ways with depending on the gender.
Do you think it trips you up as much as a bar stock defense that Team 1's about to go to?
Yeah, no, definitely more. A lot more.
Holy heck in a handbasket. We have actually seen a bar stock defense come out from INTZ. Played a number 1, so there was an NA team that defended bar stock 2, if I remember correctly, last week. I'm trying to remember. The only downside to the schedule that we're running right now is that a lot of times in order to be ready for our next cast, we need to sleep.
Well, no, we need to stay awake and then sleep.
And then try to watch sometimes, and then you can't always watch every single round, so you'll go and you'll see synopsises and stuff like that.
Yeah, you gotta just check it.
Because, we're lazy casters. That's it.
Lazy casters.
We're lazy casters. We just...
Parker, just stay awake for 24 hours, then
every day.
Then sleep for 5 hours, and then cast again. You just easy schedule.
To quote a great movie.
Yeah?
Do you ever sleep? Sundays.
What movie is that?
Thank you for smoking.
That's a name of a movie?
When do you sleep?
That's
Sundays.
That one I don't think I've even watched.
Yeah, it's a good one. Thank you for smoking with Aaron Eckhart. It's worth watching. He's an actor. He plays Two-Face in Dark Knight.
Oh, that guy.
He's got the superhero chin.
He nailed Two-Face.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
He did. Yeah. It was a Dark Knight. I still think is, in my opinion, the greatest comic book movie of all time.
Yeah.
Comic/superhero movie.
Yeah, the greatest superhero movie. I think we can agree on that.
I think we can agree that The Dark Knight is, yeah.
Very well.
Wow, Michael, this is a Hallmark moment.
We agreeing on something?
We both know the same movie.
It's one of the greatest movies ever.
It's like the greatest movie ever.
No, I didn't say no. My favorite movie ever is The Pianist, to be clear. But it's up there. Anyway,
it's a good thing you pronounced it that way.
The Rayduck's gonna take some damage. What? Rayduck's gonna take some damage early on. Oh. I thought about it. It's like,
so glad you got that. So glad you got that.
How else would you pronounce it? I'm going through to my head. I'm like, okay.
The Pianist. Oh.
It's not. I can't get it out of my head now, Parker. Why'd you do that to me?
You're very welcome.
Now, okay, so early on, damage done to Rayduck, but not enough to kill him. He's just going to struggle in his future engagements, I should say. He will take 2 bullets, though, with that much HP. And if he's got the SMG-11 and the shotgun, so yeah, as long as he keeps his engagements nice and close, he'll still be very useful in this round. The clear of the roam, though, very successful so far on the top floor. Big thing is that since this is a VAR defense, you only need to clear out a little bit less than usual, actually. And now they're already applying pressure to the site. Not as much as I'm sure the attack would like, and Rayduck is going to keep the distraction up, and he'll lose a little bit more HP for that, but it's worth it.
Ready to torch.
It's always interesting to see the way the teams are able to pick apart this bar stock defense because it's so uncommon that there's no exact defined method of doing so. I mean, the general consensus is that bar and stock is very challenging to defend. It's doable, but it requires some finesse. And there's not much finesse when you lose 2 bodies with 20 seconds left. NiP have been rhythmic at being able to put this together, and well, there's going to be some damage done from Falls, who's playing very long range. Rayduck low HP, he's going to push up nearly a flawless round. They only need to find Rayduck, and there it is. Flawless from NiP. So as I'm saying, it's always fun to watch teams pick this apart because we don't often see bar stock. Well, NiP doing an exemplary job. They get all 5 of the kills, and they give up nothing in the process, though they do take quite a beating on a couple operators. They were able to capture that second floor, take 2 picks within seconds of each other, right as you need to have all hands on deck for the defenders. And Team 1 fell very far back. They tried to control main stairs. They tried to play back in lounge. They weren't able to do it. Ninjas and Pyjamas were stacked up on billiards. They were stacked up over by bathroom, and there was still some people that were playing both down below and above. And when they were called in to help with the execute, they caught the remaining members of Team 1. I don't suspect we're going to see another bar stock take from either team, as I don't think we're going to see another bar stock defense. So back to the norm as it looks to be, a church defense downstairs. It was a successful site for Team 1. CCTV will unlock for the very final round of defense for Team 1. But will we see a different Ninjas in Pyjamas here as they try to do something they weren't able to do before? You credited the thermite ban as negating a very big advantage that teams have, which is the pressure on dirt. How will NiP play around that one? Lightly
negating. I should be clear, and you brought this up at the time, and you're right. Maverick can also open up the tunnel, but it's a little bit slower. I think that the thermite ban is targeted to deny a rush through the tunnel. Because you can open up that tunnel, then just stack everybody in through the big hole, and you don't have to worry about somebody on defense playing tunnel. If you're opening up a Maverick hole, that is a really easy bottleneck for one defender to hold for a prolonged amount of time. And it's going to be difficult for you to make a rush into the site knowing that there are roamers. And I think that's probably why T1 banned thermite. Just to make sure that their solo player on site will be able to hold out. But this time around, T1 are playing much heavier on the bomb site. So that was only a one-time thing for T1. And now that they've pulled off that basement defense, which they were successful on their roam and the hold in the end, when they defended basement by roaming heavily, their Team 1 are not going to bring it anymore. They're going to continue to change their strategy up to try and keep Ninjas in Pyjamas guessing, and I think that's the right way to go about things. Ninjas in Pyjamas already taking a lot of time to clear out the roamers and make sure that they have control upstairs. You can see that they barely even made it into the building, and we're already a minute into the round. So yeah, NiP are playing very cautious. Rayduck looking for the sledge, and he's not going to find him. An aggressive play, not punished by NiP, but not really beneficial. Yokai Drone's going to spot out Psycho, who will also hit a Elysian Trap. Lots of information on Psycho right now. an aggressive play from a defender could pay off, especially since the Moto Drop's not opened yet. Usually you open Moto Drop before you come down the main stairs, because Moto Drop getting opened denies Moto being played by the defenders. But not the case in this round, as Psycho was getting a little bit too... Well, he's just pushing really quickly, as I guess the point I'm trying to get at here. So, as has been pointed out by many people and was noticed by, it was Foxay who actually showed me this, it's not about like opening up a circle around the drop down. It's actually about how many ticks of the Mav torch go into the drop down.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to make a circle around the edges or anything like that. You just need to put that amount of ticks into the right amount of ticks into the drop. That's it.
I remember when Maverick first came out, people were doing like that snake when they were doing, their Centipede or whatever old school, 8-bit game they were doing. And some people will do like circles and stuff like that, because then even if it doesn't break, you still at least get a good line of sight through it. So
you could just do kind of like an L on 2 edges, and that's enough as long as you do it slow enough.
He made us, Foxy made us look like chumps, if I'm being honest with you. And I mean,
he made me look like chumps.
He also makes everybody look like chumps when he dons those great Balenciaga wear that he likes to wear, and makes everybody else look completely foolish with their very pedestrian streetwear. So anyway, as is commonplace on a church take, there's 30 seconds left, and Nip have not really been able to get anywhere near the site. In fact, they are a nitro cell away from doom. 3 players from Ninjas in Pyjamas all sitting inside a kitchen looking to drop. Rayduck will catch 1, and Kamikaze manages to make it in. The wall blows up in front of him. He'll take out Rayduck. A toxic canister sails over top of him, and he'll attempt the plant in the default corner. Somebody from T1 will have to swing out to prevent this. Rise seems positioned in the best way possible, and he should be able to get it, but the plant goes down, and now it's going to be an all-out brawl with Rise picking up 2 kills. Psycho 1 for his trouble. It's a 2v3. Rise is so low on HP, but look at that control on the first floor from Nip. This is going to be very challenging to take back. Echo being down from Pino, he'll look to secure. Rise sticking the defuse. Psycho peeks up. He knows he has to get shaken off of the defuse, and he'll do just that. Rise will fall off. But playing through those angles, the Sledge will do his best. 2v2. Diffuser just under halfway. Great control for Ninjas in Pyjamas, an almost impossible situation from Team 1. Even though it is still winnable, it looks exceedingly unlikely. You'll have to retake that second floor control. Psycho gets 1, and then the second as well. Somewhat of an anticlimactic finish, as Nip had no doubt about it in that round. They'll get both the kills that are required of them, Psycho in particular, and that'll be another round in a row for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They've got 3 now. 2 for Team 1.
The real hero there is Kamikaze, without a doubt. The big thing that Kamikaze managed to pull off was the plant, but there were a couple things leading up to that. Of course, he's getting the drop downs as well. But the biggest thing that Kamikaze accomplished there was predicting the rotation from Arsenal Wall all the way by Pulse Spot at near the bottom of main stairs, where that impact came out on the wall. He didn't just react to the impact and kill the Legion. He pre-aimed the impact hole before it even was there. So that is great awareness from the Hibana of Kamikaze. And after that, he managed to get a plant, despite all of the plant denial coming out from Team 1. Misplaced plant denial, mind you. So that is a really big problem for T1, and it cost them that round. So Ninjas in Pyjamas, no matter what, they have won this half. They managed 3 rounds on the attacking side of Clubhouse. That is a win. It's not unrecoverable for Team 1, but it is effectively the same as a 4-2 for the defense on this half. If T1 had gotten a 4-2, yeah, you're winning, but it's not unrecoverable as the side swap for the attacking side. So, yeah, 3 rounds for Nip. That's comfortable. That's good. That's excellent. Interestingly, Psycho's going to be the one placed on a Montaigne. Montaigne in and of itself is interesting. He's really good on this site, so you can't really argue with there on any site really on this map. You can't argue with the decision to bring a Montaigne. But it's on Psycho, your top frag. That's really interesting. Psycho proving his versatility here as a player.
I was going to say, I can swear that we've seen this before from Psycho playing Montaigne.
We have, because we've talked about it.
Yeah, I distinctly remember us saying this is very odd for him to do, but I mean, he also plays Valkyrie a lot. What's one of the most important parts of playing Valkyrie? Communication. What's one of the most important parts of playing Monty?
Communication.
So it stands to reason that he would be in that particular role.
The drone is ready to go.
There you go, you got it. Oh.
Julia.
Maybe not.
Wait, he's waiting for someone to drone, I guess? Is he going to try to open the other one?
Oh, no, that is not ideal. Luke had guns down Pino. Was that over on dirt? No, that wasn't. That was upstairs in logistics.
So bad droning?
I was wondering, yeah. Speaking of communication, even though you might expect the Montaigne to do it very well, Pino's not able to do all that much.
The reason why there's poor droning there is because they had to divert so many people to this dirt tunnel take. And that means that nobody droned for Pino.
They still haven't been able to open up that secondary wall, but they'll get the rightward wall and then move on in. Falls is positioned. He'll hear the cling-clang of the shield as it comes ever closer.
Falls is the perfect operator to slow this attack up. Psycho's going to have to deal with so many of those Legion traps.
Make sure you see them, and he doesn't see it, and he'll step inside of it.
Wow. That's the second one detonated onto the Montaigne, which is going to take off about 25 HP. That's pretty important when it comes to the actual take, because Psycho can die to some leg shots now if the timing is correct from the defenders. Or readily die to leg shots, I should say.
The Vigil of Rayduct was waiting on his ERC to cool down, and he gets spotted and then shot through the door, sees the head of the Maverick on Julio, takes a ton of damage, as Julio will once again now re-engage, or at least pause for the time.
Located by attackers.
Interesting that the cloak was not used there from Rayduct. He had an opportunity to persist, but he got marked and he fell back. He's going to actually play by Freezer. Right now, Ninjas in Pyjamas is not looking like they're in a great spot. As Falls gets Muzi, and one of the X-Scaros is denied by Fellapox from above. Team 1 are looking to lock this round out and end it in a 3-3. Again, though, a 3-3 is still very comfortable for NIP. So this is not exactly a loss for Ninjas in Pyjamas, even if they don't take this round. And it doesn't seem like they'll be able to. As Falls eliminates Psycho, who was just trying to push in through the dirt tunnel. Psycho had to deal with so many Legion traps, and then he had to deal with several players in a crossfire in Arsenal. The drop from Habana is swiftly disrupted, or destroyed, I should say, from Lukid, and there goes the last player for NIP. A flawless round for T1, and they end the first half in a bang. 3-3, though, again, pretty even, but still slightly favored to NIP. That was the second time in a row that Team 1 went to bar, and they only managed to get it there and in the first round. 3 rounds total on bottom floor.
Did you say bar?
I think I accidentally did, yeah, because I was reading my notes for bar, where the round where they managed to, well, they went to bar, but then lost it pretty miserably.
I was going to say, that was an exact mirror of NIP's defense against FaZe. It was a 3-3 split. It's okay, man.
I meant bottom floor.
There's less in the water today than there was yesterday.
That's true. Yeah.
See, I'm trying to read your handwriting. So you write bar, and then for church you write bot, B-O-T, for bottom floor.
I always write...
Sometimes the B-O-T can look like a B-A-R when read very quickly.
It wasn't, for me, it wasn't that wasn't the problem, because I can distinguish between my O's and my A's.
Yeah, but I can't.
Yeah, no, my handwriting is very kind of...
This is all about me.
Yeah, oh, I forgot.
Because I'm trying
Sorry, continue with your point.
Well, it was all about me because I was trying to read your writing. That's why.
Okay.
So if you could clean that up in the future, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll be sure to write in a more uniform manner so that you can clearly understand what I'm writing down.
I would like ESL, on top of all the vast sums of money that they apparently owe us. Additionally,
calligraphy classes?
I would like Bartosz, if you're listening, please sign Kicks up for handwriting lessons.
Calligraphy classes. I'd rather do that. That sounds more fun.
You're not going to take notes in calligraphy.
Yeah, but I could.
Think about it. If
I could, though.
Calligraphized.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a verb, but
if I used calligraphy take notes,
take your notes, you wouldn't even be finished the first round. We'd be in the fourth round.
I'd be working on it right now, slowly making a spiral C. Yeah.
Why are these rounds so fast? Anyway,
slow it down. Everybody, can we just tactical pauses, please?
Yeah. So both sides have now swapped. Ninjas in Pyjamas will end this matchup on defense, no matter what happens and how many rounds it takes either them or Team 1 to prevail. There could be a draw here, which would be a major boon for Team 1, who comes in with low expectations. Need we remind you that Team 1 has 0 points at the moment. They have not been successful in either of their matchups. Ninjas in Pyjamas lost to FaZe Clan. All right, not a bad opponent, adversary to lose to.
Yep.
And then prevailed against Black Dragons, but they were both very close, and it actually looked like Black Dragons had the upper hand in that cafe matchup for a period. Yes. So
same here for Team 1.
And Team 1 have been showing great resolve. Now, a defense on Clubhouse getting 3 rounds is not always confidence-inspiring, and when you look at the bans that are up there, well, the defenders are really only missing a Mira. Goyo shows up from time to time, but is not always the most impactful. You've still got Kaid, Echo, and Maestro available, with a Valkyrie to boot if you want to use her. And if you look at Ninjas in Pyjamas lineup, they've got 3 dedicated anchors with a flex anchor of Legion if required. That was a very similar lineup to what we saw being run from Team 1. So the defense should have tons of advantages. Will NIP be able to take said advantage and run with it?
So what Muzi's doing right there, actually, it seems to be he's baiting out shots. He's hoping that somebody's going to spray at him and miss so that he knows where the push is coming from. That is the only reason I can think for him to try and cross like that with his pistol out. He's trying to be as fast as possible and trying to be as slippery as possible. And he hasn't managed to bait any shots from the Zofia of Rise, who I think is aware of what's going on, aware of what Muzi's trying to do. But meanwhile, the take is actually seemingly going to be on the kitchen. Falls has just attempted to open up the kitchen drop. I'm not sure if it got impact tripped, but he's also going to open up the moto drop, which for sure will be opened. Ooh, great information from Psycho. He's got a yokai drone inside of kitchen. This could be the determining factor on the outcome of this round, as Psycho will not only be able to gather information on players inside of kitchen, but also stun them when it's crucial that a defender not be killed from the drop down. Plenty of setup for Arsenal. Ninjas in Pyjamas can easily rebuff this attack if they just continue to wait, especially, again, with all the denial that is in play for the defense right now. It's all going to come down to the timing of the rush from Team 1. Philippox will go in for the attempted plant in Cubby. He will start it, and it looks like that Lukid has good coverage, so this might be a successful plant, but Psycho's got a yokai drone in sight, and there's a gas canister, as well as Julio for the rush. The gas canister is going to work against the defense, but what's not going to matter is Julio is limited by Lukid. So there is a refrag in play here for Team 1. Muzi, though, will add to the tally for Ninjas in Pyjamas as he gets Rise. Yokai drone still inside of Arsenal, somehow not destroyed. And Falls, the last player left for Team 1, is going to have to be a 1 versus 4. It's not going to happen. Ninjas in Pyjamas, a really good holdout there. As quick as it was for Team 1, they didn't really seem to have any chance.
That was a dominating performance here. And we say this time and time again for teams that are less practiced. Attacking strats are much harder to conjure up and put together. For a team like Team 1, well, if you're playing on Clubhouse defense, you've got a lot of advantages at your disposal. On attack, you don't have that same safeguard of being able to play on the favored site on this map. So it's going to be a challenge and possibly an uphill battle. Church is usually the hardest nut to crack, so at least you've gotten that one out of the way. If Ninjas in Pyjamas are to go there again and are successful, you're only going to have to go after it one more time. You're now going to have CCTV in gym, or maybe even a rare bar and stock to go after. In this case, Ninjas in Pyjamas are not going to take any gambles. They're going to go up to CCTV room and cash room. And they've blown their composition wide open. They're going to be running a much more fluid, much more roam-heavy, and I would say even frag-heavy lineup. They've done away with the Kai, they've done away with the Echo. They're not going to be sitting as stationary. Muzi will likely play at the top of Garage and the Rafters, but as for the remaining 4 members of NIP, the only one that I could see sitting still is Kamikaze. He'll keep Julio by the wall to bandit trick. Psycho and Pino could even play below, and it's not unusual to see a Valkyrie down in lounge, especially in the final 40 seconds of a round, to deny a plant should you not lose too many members of your team in the process, because, well, if you're down to a 2v4, your Valkyrie's not going to be playing down there if there's a minute and 10 seconds left on the clock.
I don't know why it was so hard for me to say Lukid's name.
You wanted to say, you said like,
no,
like
Ukid, yeah, or something like that. I was reading the whole name, Lukidera, and that was what was tripping me up. I don't know why. What does that look?
I'm with you, man. I said Shiko instead of joystick like 3 times yesterday. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you like.
I honestly, dude, I was just as tripped up as you were that day. So that was a weird day. Today's different. Today's different. I didn't even notice.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Yesterday, like I said, something was in the water yesterday. I don't know what it was. You and I were just not capable of speaking words.
All over the place, man. No bueno.
It wasn't bad. It was just it was tough to be able to use all your thoughts. This is an angle.
Yeah, so this right here, if you're wondering what's happening, this is to deny a lifeline from below. So it's very common for a Zofia to go into New Blue, as we like to call it, or Atom Spot, as some other people will call it, and try to double lifeline under the bandits to deny tricking. Could even kill them. But if you use that angle, then you can, well, kill the Zofia before she can even lifeline you.
I think Julia was able to get 4 of the 6 of those X-Kairos, but still, if you put them right down the middle, as is the benefit of Hibana versus a Thermite, you're able to open up that garage relatively easily. And would you look at that? Oh, we almost got the angle from inside site.
So that's good open there from T1, but it's not really a whole lot, I gotta say. Again, this is the problem when you ban Thermite on a map like Clubhouse. So you've got the wall open, great. You're not going to be able to use it as well as you would hope to if you had Thermite, like I said. The big difference between Team 1 right now and Ninjas in Pyjamas, and this is really interesting, is that NIP brought Maverick. Oh, hang on a second. run out from Psycho, looking for a pick. Is he going to find any on the balcony? He will. Nice shot. Headshot, in fact, onto Rayduct. And that's an early, well, I say early, in the engagement early man advantage for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Last Xcaro is being used on the workshop wall to apply more pressure to the cash anchors. But still, Nip have a solid advantage here, and they could leverage it to a win if they wait out this last 50 seconds.
There's the Nitro sellout from Pino, does not connect, and that's a ballsy play to make. Almost takes Fellapox down with them before we see the Valkyrie perish. Still Ninjas in Pyjamas with that opening pick. They only lose one. Here, barbed wire being broken by the defenders just so they can escape without making a big old racket. There's no entry that's going to happen from the garage, or from, rather, that breach either. Musi finds Luke at the frag grenade disc, taking a tiny bit of damage off of Kamikaze. Musi with yet a second. The Alda doing great work, as you'd expect it to. Patrolling those hatches, Team 1 realizes, well, they're going to have to go somewhere else. Fellapox has next to no HP, and he's going to have to walk through very quietly through the barbed wire. Knowing that the diffuser's down in construction, Nip has fallen off, and Fellapox is not going to be doing much at all. Takes down one, looks for the second, cannot connect. Nip, their second round in a row, their second defense in a row, and now their fifth round.
Yeah, it's looking really good for Nip right now. In their stride, on defense, things are solid for Ninjas in Pyjamas. As I was trying to get at, the thing I wanted to explain is something that's really interesting about the bans and the way this all played out hard destruction-wise. Team 1 banned Thermite, right? And then what do? They just bring Hibana. Ninjas in Pyjamas Maverick tricked a bunch of walls, and their Maverick tricking was almost as effective as a Thermite. The only difference was Thermite would have been faster. That's it. So Ninjas in Pyjamas are more prepared on this map for the Thermite ban than the team that banned Thermite, which is T1, their opponents. So that's a really weird situation for T1, hard destruction-wise. And again, they're not going to bring the Maverick. So on Gym, they're going to struggle with that Jacuzzi balcony wall.
I've seen this with a couple Latin America teams, and Ninjas in Pyjamas was one of them, if you recall. Let's go back to the Invitational last year, because, by the way, Invitational, less than a month away. I am amped, stoked, jazzed, pumped, all of the words.
Feels
all
like
of the words, the best words.
Can we even use Stoke now that Stokes is...
He doesn't own the word. He doesn't spell it correctly.
Oh, that's true. He spells it incorrectly with an... He's an X. I forgot.
Stoax.
Stoka. Stocks.
Nope. I'm trying to make that work today.
I don't know. I don't know why that keeps coming up. I'm not usually a deliberate memer.
Oh my.
Oh, and that's why I suck at it.
No way. Oh, no whammies. Oh, you almost lose the Thatcher.
No whammies.
No whammies.
Aw.
No whammies.
All right, Rick.
That's what Wamai. I think it's hilarious to call him Whammy.
Yeah?
Wamai, the new operator that's not available yet.
Oh, yeah, Whammy.
I call him Whammy, and I call his devices Whammies, so when I go to throw like something in a window...
Oh, that's a whammy.
And I'm like, please don't let there be like a magnet on the other side. So I'm like, no whammies, no whammies. Quite literally, are there whammies? No whammies.
You get a cap towel bolt. Ooh, it's a whammy.
A double entendre. Word with two uses. There you go. Fun for you. If I may be
no
eloquent is my... How would I even say it?
I don't know. I don't think eloquent is the right word.
Is my word symbiosis too flamboyant today? That's what I would like to.
Oh, that's eloquent.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Here comes.
You even call it loquacious?
Here comes the rush up the stairs from Lucan. He's just trying to set up on the rotation to deny Ninjas in Pyjamas pressure on the staircase, and he's done that. But Yokai Drone is going to stun Lucan for his troubles. And I'm not sure if Lucan actually got that Yokai Drone. I think it actually managed to sneak away. So he had to cover the rotation so he didn't get rushed, and he's still being really cautious here. It is a sledge, so there's more potential for opening holes, but from the flank, Julio is trying to apply pressure. And right now, the attack is looking like they're not going to get much done here, but the wall's been opened up into cash, which is going to make it really hard for the roamers to persist in cash. Speaking of, though, those roamers are starting to rack up the kills. Yeah, we lost Muzi for Ninjas in Pyjamas, but ooh, that's actually a freebie there for Lukid. So an even exchange. I was about to say it's slighted towards Nip, but definitely very even there as cash control is gained from Team 1.
Julio could have been in such a strong position holding the angle all the way through construction into cash, but he has to move because Rayduck's pressure on the window means that the bandit is not able to stand the way he wants to. Diffuser surrendered inside of cash as Kamikaze guns down one member of Team 1. Julio finds another. Rayduck trades off Julio, but in a 1v2 with an Echo still on the board and a smoke, they'll need to grab that diffuser up. The soft wall inside of construction means that he'll get shot through. What an angle from Rayduck. That's a thing of beauty. 3 kills for his troubles, and he'll rotate through logistics. He gets the calls. Suppressed MP5 SD will be the final bullet that is required on Rayduct, and that'll be match point for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They secure themselves, at minimum, 1 point in the standings. They need it if they want to hang tough with all the other teams, and they have looked mighty fine on defense so far.
Well, that was a nice try there from Rayduct, I gotta say. Lost it out to Psycho in the end.
Valiant effort.
Valiant effort, yes, indeed. I gotta say, he had 4 bolts, 2 fires, and 2 smokes to work with at the end there. Definitely could have done a better job of it than just, hey, let's rush into the last player. Maybe drone. I think he had time. I didn't see the clock, but I'm pretty sure there was plenty of time for Rayduct to slow down, think about his options.
I think he had 40 or 50 seconds. That round was not over in terms of time.
So that's what I'm saying. If he just maybe contemplated his choices a little bit more there, used his smokes to attempt to plant maybe, he could cover a lot of ground with 2 smokes, mind you. He could go to the workshop door, double smoke towards Master, maybe plant on the bed, somewhere where Psycho's not going to pre-fire. I don't know. Choices are abound. And I'm not saying that's the right one. I am saying the wrong one was clearly trying to rush Psycho. Usually, you're going to lose that fight. Psycho hits those shots. And that's why NiP are up to match point now. All they need to do is win 1 more defense on their primary bomb site of the basement to push us into a 7-3 victory for NiP, which would be some big points for Ninja Pyjamas. It would thrust them, let's see, up into up into the leaderboard, so they're up the top of it. It's with 6 points, they would be amongst FaZe and Ints. And Ints can't get any more points today, so...
Ints didn't get any points.
Yeah, they lost their match. So, like I said, there's no potential for them to get more than 6. So, yeah, NiP are starting to catch up to the leading pack. Oh, some nice Valkyrie.
I said it in the very first matchup of the day, is that is the pitfall. I think that was actually the exact word I used too.
Pitfall's a good one.
Pitfall's a good one. I think that's the exact pitfall, issue, worry, problem, downside of calling an entire season after 2 playdays.
I mean,
you can't tell if it's a trend or a pattern yet.
Yeah, I mean, and that's on Ints for, and we're not going to know for probably, I'd say, maybe 2/3 of the season we'll know the position of Ints, and then it's going to be represented on the leaderboard.
Well, I always like to bring this up, and it was, I think it was season 8 or season 9, I can't remember the exact season, but it was Noble and Space Station were the top 2 teams in North America after 2 playdays. Noble was undefeated. They were 2-0, and a lot of people were saying, this is the real deal, this is the real deal. Noble didn't win another game until the very final game of the season. Like, they went 2-0.
Oh, clean from Lucat.
That was a beautiful shot through the floorboards and through the metal holes that were established in Kitchen.
Sweeping up Julio.
Good night.
Yeah, as they say. As the kids say.
Allowing me to finish my thought. Noble went 2-0, and then over the remaining 12 games, proceeded to win a single game.
At the end.
Cannot extrapolate after 2 games an entire season's worth of success. You just can't do it.
And that might happen to Ints too. I mean, again, when you're a team that's not used to continued success, the pressure can sometimes get to you when you build it up for yourself. Now, this is really interesting. A shield in Dirt Tunnel and a smoke behind it to try and challenge the push that we're seeing Team 1 put out. Lots of utility invested into Dirt Tunnel for Team 1. They put 2 of their only hard destruction sets into this tunnel getting opened.
The shield gets blown apart, so Kamikaze will have to contest a little bit more aggressively. Lucat's got the shotgun. Hey, that's not something you always see. Falls as the angle, though, onto Kamikaze, and you can say goodbye to Kamikaze inside a Dirt Tunnel. But the Alda's here, and the Alda will do best in this particular juncture.
He could deny the drop down. He could deny the tunnel. It's all on Pino here. He's got support from his teammates, of course, but Pino's going to be the linchpin if Ninjas in Pyjamas want to win this. As we hit the last 40 seconds, it certainly will be close.
It's going to be a Dirt, Kitchen, and main stairs push. And as Team 1 have 5 members still available, they can commit 2 of them to each of those angles. Seeing the legs of the sledge above, Pino's just waiting ever so patiently. There's the Capitao to send out a firebolt. It'll start to damage Pino. He's going to hang on. Almost gets taken out of action. Continues to watch the Dirt Tunnel. Muzi's there. Down goes Psycho. They're trading out. Rise with 2 big kills. And Make Falls get the last one. It's a trade, but Team 1 will take the round. They managed to break this trend that NiP was establishing. They have 4 rounds. They need to take 2 more in order to salvage a point.
The big problem there, of course, is just the serious man advantage that Team One managed to put up in the early round, where they got 2 kills with no response from Ninjas in Pyjamas. And because of that strong man advantage, things like a flank from main stairs are allowed to happen. If NiP had more manpower, they could have denied main stairs push and simultaneously used the hallway to deny the Arsenal push in that situation. But there wasn't enough manpower for NiP. They had to hope that there was no one pushing down main stairs. They were wrong. And at the end, the Zofia comes down main, sweeps up the round, and it's all over. Still match point for NiP, so they only need 1 more round, and they're going to try bottom floor once more. We'll see if NiP is going to have any more success down here on their 2nd effort in a row, 3rd total for this half. The first time NiP went here, they won this site, and I believe it was pretty dominant, to be honest. It was mostly comes down to the denial from NiP, and Team One's attempted plant was not ideal. They didn't have enough coverage. Lukid was there to cover, but in the end, there just wasn't anyone else to deny the planter getting dispatched, and the utility was well used from NiP.
I mean,
first time.
Also, it was, Julio was playing on a role that gets stronger as time goes on. You had Kamikaze, who can deny that plant in dirt tunnel. On essentially, there was a cave in and he wasn't able to make it out.
Yeah.
So 2 of your best operators for denying that push from Team One were the first 2 casualties for NiP. Now, the one thing is that we noted earlier in this matchup, but with the operator bans, there is an abundance of anchors that are still available. Kaid is unbanned. Maestro is unbanned. Smoke obviously not banned. Echo is unbanned. And neither Team One nor NiP have made any mistake about consistently running 2 of those 4 operators every single round. In fact, this Maestro Echo Smoke combo has seen quite a lot of play together, which is why the defenders are winning as much as they are, or at least NiP has been.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as good for Team One on the defensive half. I mean, okay, Team One got 3 rounds out of defense.
That's a loss on Clubhouse, especially with the operators that are available.
And NiP has gotten 3 rounds in the first 3 rounds for defense. They just lost their first defense. That was the round we just witnessed. So right now, NiP's set up for a better record, and of course, that's what's going to make the difference for them if they manage to win this. It could be, it's entirely possible, that somehow NiP falters, and they toss these 2 rounds in the trash, and T1 sweeps up, and we get a 6-6. That can happen. Not going to say that's not a possibility. It's just unlikely. It seems like NiP has got this on lock. They lost 2 players early in the last round, and that's why they lost the round. So much utility, so much denial just done away with, but also most importantly, the manpower. Again, because of the positioning that was allowed for Team One, they really couldn't lose. I don't know. We'll see. NiP can keep going basement, though, which again is NiP's best bomb site, until they win a round. So if NiP really wants to, they could just keep hammering their heads against this bomb site until it's a victory. They also have options. They can go pretty much anywhere else, too, if they want. So it's not like NiP is really strapped for options. It's not like they're worried about the potential outcome of this. I think that they could just wait out this last minute, in fact, and win the round. Somewhat successful impact as it got some of the X-Kairos. I don't think there's going to be an attempt number 2, so the drop down will get opened.
That's actually really weird. The 3 X-Kairos that went off did not destroy any of the remaining X-Kairos. Did they change it?
Yeah, they changed it.
It used to...
Because they wanted to fix that.
How recent, though? Because I feel like that happened like a month or 2 ago.
And something like that, yeah. This is a push from Rise, and there goes Pino. No one watching blue. Legion Trap does do some damage, but not enough to get the kill, obviously. Muzi's trying to re-engage, as he actually was the person who was supposed to hold blue.
Rise quarreled so long that he is only on 2 HP. Falls finds 1 as well, so Team One very firmly in the driver's seat. Make that a second for Falls. Plant going down, knocked off by the Yokai drone. It's going to get disabled to the EMP. Julio swings out. Can he stop them? Yeah, he grabs 1, but he's the only man left, and he is done and dusted. 2 in a row for Team One. They are managing to dig themselves out of this hole at just the right time. Only 1 round left, so we're going to need all 12 rounds to settle this. Ninjas in Pyjamas, after losing Church twice, will almost assuredly go somewhere else. The good news was they had success on CCTV Cash and success on Gym Master. Where are they going to go? I suspect, there you go, CCTV Cash.
Yeah, okay. That round, I got to place squarely on Muzi's shoulders. His job in that scenario was almost undoubtedly to hold on to blue, and he left blue. Assuming that nobody would push it, somebody did. It was Rise. Rise managed to disrupt that hold so much that the rest of the take into Arsenal was almost unhindered from Team One. And Pretty easy assault, gotta say. They managed to start their plant. It didn't actually go down in the end, I don't think, because it didn't need to. Because all the players on Ninjas in Pyjamas were eliminated before that could happen. Good attack from Team 1. Really lackluster hold from Ninjas in Pyjamas, especially by Blue. Clash being brought out here from Ninjas in Pyjamas on the cash defense. Wonder where Clash is going to go. Think maybe Garage? Makes sense, I guess. If you can slow down the ascent of the staircase in Garage, then you can play a long angle from Cash with an ACOG and shoot someone coming up those Garage stairs. So you can hold Garage outside of Garage. And that means also that you're not exposing like a Maestro, for example. So if Muzi stands on top of the Cash desk in A,
10 seconds to go.
opens up a hole through the A wall, the AB wall, and also the Garage wall, then he can see the staircase clear as day. Imagine Julio on the catwalk zapping people away. I don't know, it's just a theory. I don't know what's going to happen. Ninjas in Pyjamas will show us. But, you know, there's a lot of use cases for Clash on this site. And you could even, yeah, you could throw on the stairs. You could just stay there the whole round and slow down things on the site.
I just hate to be a naysayer, but you've got the match on the line and you haven't ran a Clash at all. I mean, Clash has seen so little play. It's very, very risky. Like, unless this is, you have practiced this and it's always worked in scrims and you know that it's you know, we need these 3 points, break it out, we wanted to save this kind of deal, which it could be.
Even in my head, that's a risk.
That's a huge risk, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the other thing, too, to keep in mind for people that are watching is that when we get critical of these plays, i.e. a Clash being brought out at the 11th hour in a must-win match for Ninjas in Pyjamas already, as they've lost the plot.
Yeah, the season's not been perfect.
No.
But it's early still, I guess.
They've lost the plot to Team 1. What should have been an easy hold-off after 3 rounds in a row. NIP have, you know, taken their foot off the gas pedal. We don't know. Ninjas in Pyjamas could have run a Clash in many scrims.
And be totally used to it.
And always won. Had great success. And they're saying, all right, you know, we didn't want to show this. Maybe we'll save it for 6 Invitational. But we got to win this because we want to go to whichever, you know, location the LAN is going to be in Season 11. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I still think it's a gamble.
Yeah, because you're taking one gun off the board, and you're not really sure how it's going to work against Team 1, because you might do it in scrims, but who does it work here is the question. Interestingly, Team 1 have brought a Maverick, which is actually going to work really good for them in this round, as they've already opened up the server wall.
The only operator, though, that Team 1 has that will work effectively against the Clash is going to be Ryze, and if you can bleed the utility out from that Zofia, then only an EMP will be able to slow the Clash of Julio down.
I think that Clash is well positioned for this take, though. Look at this. 3 people coming into Workshop, and Clash is set up to slow them all down as we hit the last minute. Workshop wall's not even open yet. I think that might have been an impact trick.
I think so as well. I mean, Fellapox looking to be very cheeky-breaky and get on in through the opening that was created out on top of CCTV. But he's not going to be able to do much just yet. You hear Ryze get some damage on in. Pino goes down to Lukid, and now this is where trouble is going to start brewing for Julio. There are 3 members just rushing in. He's going to slow him down. 2 of them. He's going to get pushed on up. And there comes Psycho to the rescue. Kamikaze gets in on it as well, but Rayduck picks up 2 kills. Julio is getting stunned out of his mind. He's going to put the shield on his back and somehow get Ryze. Psycho picks up another.
Oh, Psycho!
No! He goes as his name would suggest, Psycho, and he manages to single-handedly save the round, and with it, the match. Ninjas in Pyjamas manage to take the matchup. Absolutely incredible play. It's another 7-5, but it doesn't matter how close it gets. 3 big points for NIP.
Everyone on Team 1 preoccupied, obsessed with Julio on the Clash, and Psycho, meanwhile, standing right next to Clash in a corner behind a shield, manages to pick up almost every single kill in that round. What a clutch from Psycho, what a distraction from Julio, and what a absolute toss away from Team